What an incredible story, ladies and gentlemen. Rural counties in Democrat-run states, these red rural counties, are currently in the process of trying to secede from the states that they are in and start whole new states. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if this is going to happen. It seems something that's like kind of fantastical, that's not going to happen really, it seems like that on the surface. But is that because of recency bias? Is that because, it hasn't happened since the 1870s, I believe, with West Virginia, 1860s, 1870s, somewhere in there. So it hasn't happened in a long time, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. Let's get into the story, man. Let's get into the story from the New York Post. Rural counties in California and Illinois push to secede from blue states to separate from liberal-run cities after Trump's win. So flipping excited. That's really funny. Flipping excited. Okay. Let's read. They've had enough of movement in a myriad of rural counties across deep blue states such as Illinois and California to split off and form new states appears to be gaining some steam in the wake of the November 5th election. Conservative residents of the rural regions are taking note of their peers fleeing to lower taxed and less regulated red states, but they are ready to stay put, pining for a divorce with the urban sectors of their state. A group dubbed the New Illinois State has drafted a new constitution and championed plans to leave Illinois without moving. On Election Day, 7 rural counties in Illinois voted to contemplate splitting off from the state. There's a lot of people in Chicago, and I think that they make a lot of decisions that affect people downstate. Phil Gioja from Iroquois County told the Wall Street Journal. It's just sending a message that, hey, there's people that would like to be part of a conversation and often aren't. In Iroquois County, about 73% of voters backed the idea of banding together with other counties in Illinois except Cook County, which encompasses Chicago, and forming a new state. Chicago is home to about 40% of Illinois' population. While Gioja doesn't anticipate a separation soon, some backers of a rural divorce think that an opening will come. We always believed that our best opportunity to negotiate our way out of Illinois was when Illinois was approaching that financial cliff. It's been on a path toward it for years, G.H. Merritt, who chairs New Illinois State, told the outlet. Out in California, a similar movement has taken root as well. The New California State Organization hopes to splinter off the counties outside the Bay Area, Sacramento, and Los Angeles. I'm so flipping excited, Paul Preston, who founded the New California State, told the Wall Street Journal. Preston bashed the Golden State to the outlet as a one-party communist state, and technically they have seceded from the Union already. But his and other like-minded movements face an uphill battle. To win statehood, they would need the green light from state legislatures, difficult to lock down from the states where they'd like to splinter off. Hawaii was the last state formally added to the U.S. There have been efforts by Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. to attain statehood, but none of them have garnered much steam. Following the November 5th election, California Governor Gavin Newsom has visited red counties and told voters, message received. Yeah, we don't believe you, bud. I can tell you right now, I don't live in the state of California, but I can tell you, these red voters, they don't believe you. They don't care what you have to say. You've had years to do right by these voters, and you've spat in their face every single time you've gotten a chance to do right by them. Just stabbed them in the back constantly. Let's continue. I don't care who you voted for. I care about Trump supporters. I care about Robert Kennedy Jr. supporters. I care about Tucker Carlson supporters. I care about Charlie Kirk supporters. I care about Ben Shapiro supporters. I care about all people, Newsom said during one of his stops. Yeah, once again, don't believe you, because your actions have completely said a different story. Let's continue. Out in Oregon, the Greater Idaho Movement is hoping to reconfigure state lines so that rural counties past the Cascade Mountain Range can join their conservative-run neighbor Idaho. The state of Oregon has said, we're not going to talk about it and are basically holding people in eastern Oregon captive against our wishes, Matt McCaw, executive director of Greater Idaho, told the outlet. A similar movement had taken place in 3 Maryland counties, Garrett, Allegheny, and Washington, which asked to join West Virginia and got support from Governor Jim Justice back in 2021. None of those counties have moved over. The urban-rural divide has long had ripple effects in domestic politics. President-elect Donald Trump enjoyed a major advantage over Vice President Kamala Harris in rural areas. Trump, 78, also managed to chip away at the Democrats' long-held grip in urban centers, dramatically reducing the margins in traditional blue states relative to the 2020 election. Throughout his campaign, the 45th and soon-to-be 47th president assailed the liberal-run cities, claiming that they were overtaxed, rife with crime, and falling apart. Ladies and gentlemen, this needs to happen. This needs to happen. In my opinion, if this were to get done, I'm not saying it's going to. It's a small chance. But if this were to get done, this would drastically obliterate the power that the Democrats have in the Electoral College. I mean, it would just, all of the power that they have, it would just be completely eviscerated. I mean, you're in the case of California and Illinois, you're essentially talking about creating two or more new states, if you will, and from these counties that would be leaving the states of Illinois and California, they all vote red, every single one of them. So you're essentially going to be creating two or three new red states. Now, I don't know what the rules are when it comes to creating new states. If these counties just go to the federal government and say, "Hey, we're done with these. We're done with these states. We don't want to be a part of these states anymore." I mean, I guess the federal government could just simply pass a law saying, "Hey, these areas are now going to be new states," and then let's be honest, it's probably going to end up in the courts. And then I think the only real precedent we have on that is West Virginia, because back in the Civil War, West Virginia separated from Virginia and became West Virginia, which was the creation of a new state, just like these situations that we're talking about here. And I believe it went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, "Nah, screw you, West Virginia stand." Like after the Civil War, Virginia sued to try to force West Virginia to come back into the fold, and the court said, "No, that's not happening," because West Virginia was loyal to the Union at the time. Now, that's kind of the only precedent that we have in terms of courts. What I think is most likely to happen is the Greater Idaho Movement. If this story gets some traction, if people in the federal government can catch wind of this story and can apply proper pressure to the states, or if we can just simply get a law passed stating, "Hey, these things are now, these counties are now separated," I don't know. It's probably going to end up in the courts. It's probably going to be a big court battle. And I don't know. I don't know, man. I think it's fun. I think this is really cool. I think that this really needs to happen. It would utterly obliterate the power that the Democrats hold in the Electoral College. And it would hand over a lot of power to the Republicans. And it would, honestly, I haven't done the math. It just about might give the Republicans a supermajority. I mean, that I could be wrong. I have not done the math. But when you look at the amount of Electoral College votes that are just in the states of California and Illinois, I mean, you're talking about completely wiping out a ton of these Electoral College votes, a ton of Electoral College power. And it would be dang near impossible. I mean, seemingly, it would be dang near impossible for Democrats to win another presidential election if this happens. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's a fun story. It's cool to talk about. And I really do hope that it happens. But, you know, we'll have to see. I'll have another video coming for you guys tomorrow. If you want to help this channel, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow me on all the socials down in the description, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.